Yeah, we'll just use a
casters. Casters?
Yeah, but we gotta do a little bit of modifying. So we'll just get it set in here and we can pick it up with the jack. Need some safety gurgles.
I got some in my truck. I forgot to bring them. That's better. Want to try to wheel them? Mm-hmm. Try to wheel them around, see if that's what we want.
Oh, yeah.
They were good.
Yep. Alright, so today we got a fab job in the shop. It's a 12-foot snow box for my neighbor's Cat IT18B loader. He bought it and it was supposed to have the correct quick hitch mount on it, but the design is pretty similar except it's 6 inches or so, or 10 inches too far apart. So we got to cut one off, move it over and weld it back in. He doesn't care if it's offset. Just to save some time and money on getting this fabbed up, so we're only going to do one instead of centering both of them. Ideally, we wanted to carbon arc the weld out of here, but that didn't work out for us today, so we're going to have to grind and torch cut most of it, and then we'll move it over and weld it on. And these ears down here on the bottom are also too high up. We have to cut these off and move them down. So we got some work cut out for us today, but we have the loader out front here. He just brought it over so we could get our measurements and everything as we go here. So let's get to it. Okay.
I think it'll be alright. That torch cut. I've got it all well before.
Okay.
A little bit. time consuming, but like you gotta keep
Right.
blowing it out, but it works. You got much in here?
Yeah, I haven't used them much at all.
No. Nice. Put a fire blanket down so we don't mess up your concrete.
I ain't gonna mess it up that much, is it?
I don't know. You're not cutting right on it. I'm gonna put my boot savers on.
Yeah.
Oh. I like to wire them in town torch cutting, it'll save your boot strings and your feet.
Right.
You get slag down in your boots. Alright.
Cutting through would probably be a little bit more of a challenge to fix up, but it'll still be doable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
No.
I didn't think I was.
It's glowing red, you know?
Yeah, it's just getting hot.
Yeah. Over here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, preheating always helps when you're torch cutting.
Try and see if it causes a line, a fracture line in there.
Yeah. Which way do you head? You gonna swing this way?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to go with the grinder a little deeper. Looks good though.
Yeah.
Didn't lose any material or cut into the.
We'll just clean these edges up and we can put it right back on where it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll just mount right back on, set right on the ledge.
Yep. Then it's all welding and
Lining it all
stitching,
up.
tacking.
Yeah. You hungry?
Yeah, I can.
I'm pretty hungry. All right, well, we got that cut off there. The grinder worked pretty good on these straight parts, but down here in the corners, we had to gouge the weld out with the torch. You know, we got down into the plate a little bit, so we're gonna clean all this up now. We're gonna grind this down, and then we'll fill in what we need to with weld and grind it back smooth again, like it's never even there. And then on the plate, we're just gonna grind these corners up, clean all this old weld off. That way we can start fresh. And the nice thing here is that we still have the original surface here, so we didn't lose any material. So we can just mount it right back on there and know we're the right distance on it. So we're gonna do some grinding now. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and fill these gouges in from where we ground out the weld. And then once we get it built back up, we'll grind it down flush like it was never even there. And reconnect the factory welds here where they stopped. Alright, so we were doing some mock-ups here and realized the gap on the quick loader is 2 inches. This plate is 1.5 inches, so we thought we were good, and I never noticed these wear plates or whatever you want to call them on the side here. So we're gonna have to cut these off now because the overall width with those wear plates is 2 1/4, so that doesn't even fit into the hitch. So I cut them off now too. All right, so we got this all filled in, ground down. You know, there's still some lines showing, but a little bit of paint, it'll look nice. And then we marked out about where the piece is gonna go now and ground the paint off to get a good weld on there. So we're gonna line it up and tack it on now, and then we'll test fit it.
Get her
Squared up. So we needed our scales.
alright, and all this whole good.
That's not.
Put a weld on this side, I'll probably pull it.
Yeah, it's square.
Right now
on
I'm
this.
tacked on this side, both
Yeah, but
sides.
it's square over here.
centered in there.
Fit right in?
Yeah.
Go all the way on the bottom too?
Yep.
That thing is weird.
Yeah, that would take some getting used to.
Oh yeah.
What do I call that?
Articulating.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I had touched the wheel and the whole thing like split in half, I'm like, what the hell? Alright, so we did our test fit with the loader and it lined up perfect. So this is tacked on here real good. We were going to preheat the whole thing with my big propane torch, but it turns out I didn't have the right fitting for it. So what we're going to do first is cut these ears off because they need to come down. And by doing that, we'll take all the chill out of this steel. So that's what we're going to do first.
Does that look like I'm coming out? Yeah. Good? I mean square. Yeah. Taking everything it's got.
Yeah, you might be coming this way a little bit with it.
Need to go towards the bucket?
Yeah.
How's that?
Alright, now I just want to point this out to you guys. You remember when I was doing the back blade modification? I was struggling to cut through 1/4 inch steel. This is what you get when you got somebody that knows what they're doing. That's 1.5 inch steel, you just cut through like butter. Why did I think that was going to take so much longer than that did? I thought that was going to take forever to do. That's hilarious.
You set your torch up good, you can cut to just about anything.
Right. I'm not joking.
You
man.
gotta go slow, nice and steady. Don't get in front of your. You're probably trying to cut too fast,
Yeah.
and
I
you're
don't
getting away
know.
from your melt, your puddle.
Yeah.
It's just like welding. You can't get away from your puddle.
Right. Yeah. When I was cutting that just 1/4 inch flat, I was constantly having to stop and start, and I couldn't get it to just nice, smooth, you know. It took forever. It took twice as long for me to cut through that 1/4 inch piece than you did on both of those. And I was only cutting 1 inch wide. 2 inches wide.
I knew your torch could do it because I cut through like 1 inch with Dad's, and it cut like that.
Yeah.
Right through it. And Dad's got the same
Outfit.
outfit, don't he?
Yeah. That's funny.
Pretty square, not too bad.
Yeah.
Cool. Clean these up. And then put a little bevel on.
Alright, so we were setting up the auto setting feature on the stick welding, and after we selected our settings, it said output off, and this screen came up with that saying off. Looked in the manual, picture showed the same thing, so we tried to strike an arc. It didn't strike, so I just happened to turn this knob and it turns it on. So when you get there, if you see that, just turn this right knob right here and it turns it on. Got her all done. Turned out pretty good. Ran into a few hiccups, but you know, it was only time. So the wear plates were probably the biggest problem. We did have to do a lot more grinding than we thought we would, but luckily Sean was able to lay the welds down like he did and do that torch cutting. Made short work of that stuff. So we originally had planned on stick welding this on, but figured out that we were having to burn too hot, and this material really isn't very thick. So we decided to go ahead and MIG it, and we ran out of wire, of course, so we had to run out and get some more wire. But
yeah, it might only be 3/16.
yeah, 3/16 thick. So all in all, pretty good job. So they said they were going to get their own paint and paint it, but we just laid down a little primer to keep it from rusting. So they'll pick it up tomorrow.
Perfect.
You got anything you want to say?
No.
All right.
Well.
See you next time.